Hello. All right, I think we're good. I think the sound is working. If you can't hear me or at any point you can't hear me, please say something in the comments so that I know. I sometimes have issues with my audio, but it looks like it's working. So, hi, I'm Roxy. This is my first public live stream. Yikes. I'm gonna jump right in. Last live stream I did, I made this little guy who is a cool little character that I made out of cottonwood sticks. So this little dude took me about 2 hours. I'm gonna make another one tonight. Obviously a different design. And I'm gonna try to stay in frame for you. He is upside down, which is not ideal. Here we go. There we go. That's what he looks like. But yeah, I'm gonna make a little lady, I think, tonight. So I went out into the world today and I picked up some sticks, and I'm gonna let you know why I pick certain things so that you can pick certain things for your own projects in an informed way. All right, first and foremost, anytime you see a stick that isn't perfectly straight, those are the good ones. You don't want the straight ones. The straight ones are boring. The ones that have a little curve to them, a little bit of, I don't know, a little abnormality, those are the ones that make the best limbs and fingers and stuff like that. So this one I think came from a pine tree. Oh, it definitely did. There's sap on the end there. I'll have to watch out for that. But this was a pine tree. Everything else I gathered for this project, all of these are from a cottonwood tree. And cottonwoods are my favorite because they have amazing texture. They have all these little knobby bits. Um, they're very, very beautiful. So I picked these guys because my other little guy from last time is mostly made of cottonwood, and they're very knobby little joints. They make great elbows and knuckles and whatnot. So that's what I'm working with. So we're gonna start with that. I also grabbed this this pine cone that like has like a snowy vibe, but it's just sap, I guess, all over it. So again, have to be careful I don't end up with sap all over myself. But this little creature, I want to make it feminine in some way. So I grabbed a pine cone because I was thinking maybe like a little a little skirt or like a little hat. I don't know. Um, we're gonna wing it and see how it goes. So I guess the first thing to do, aside from gathering sticks and whatnot, the only tools I use for this project, they're simple. Snippies. These are jewelry cutters. Snips. Last time I struggled a hair with these because the sticks that I were using were a little bit thick, and again may have a trouble with like sticks like this size. Cutting through these is going to be tricky, so I may struggle. I thought about grabbing a little handsaw, but I thought that seemed overkill, so I'm more likely to just struggle through it and it's fine, and everything will be great. Second, my trusty alcohol lamp. These are super duper cheap on the internet. I think they cost like $6. It's just a little glass globe. You fill with alcohol, and there's a wick on the inside that scoops up the alcohol, and you just light this sucker on fire, and it will burn for hours and hours. They're very safe, but you still obviously don't leave them unattended. It's like a candle, that sort of vibe. Only it doesn't emit like a smell or any toxic crap. That's why I like my alcohol lamp, and that is mainly for when I start putting the joints together. Like I have in this guy, you can see in his hands, there's little bits of wax. That's how I essentially glue these things together. So, um, yeah, that's what we're doing with that. That's why I need a lamp. Otherwise, I use like two of these little simple tools. My knife tool for chopping things, and this little guy is just a regular pointy knife edge. Again, in this little curvy guide for sculpting. But first things first, we need to make like a regular form. It needs a body, torso, legs, hands, arms, blah blah blah. So let's get to it. First thing I'm gonna do is just kind of look at what I've got. and see if there are any like good chunks that I want to. Uh-oh, I brought a little bug in here. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here, dude. It happens. It happens. I'll let him survive. He'll just, hopefully, will not have 8 million babies in my house. That's one of the risks to bringing in chunks of the outdoors into your studio with you. But anywho. All right, let's see. What do we got here? I like this one because it's curvy, but I don't have. I feel like I need more of a body, a chunky body. This is the chunkiest piece I have, and it's got this good. Let me zoom in on this stuff for you. It's got this good angle joint here. Dang, camera. There we go. With some little knobbies and some texture. So we're gonna start with this and use this as the body for our creature. And since I usually try to branch off of a branch with an arm, I don't usually go straight towards it. I usually leave a little bit to serve as a shoulder. So I'm just gonna cut. Watch your eyes when you do this. Because sometimes these like chunks of wood just go flying everywhere. So, all right. So we're gonna start with that, and I think that, let's see, we're gonna want limbs. This is a piece I just cut off 1 second ago. Yeah, okay. So I often will cut a piece and then change the angle with a little wax magic. So that is something that happens pretty regularly around here because the natural curve sometimes is a little too stark and we need to add an extra piece in the middle. But let's see what we got. This one's got some good texture. These could be shoulders. Unless we want to flip her upside down. Oops. But I haven't quite decided. This stick has a ton of great texture, but I think we're gonna save this one for legs because it's thicker. But I have a little skinnier ones here for arms. I think we gotta go back upside down. Maybe. Probably gonna have to take a chunk off of this. Oh, hey! Hi, Natasha. What do you got here? The cottonwood guy's name, maybe possibly. I don't know if I ever decided on a name for him, but his this is gonna be his like lady friend. We'll see what maybe hopefully she'll be done enough by the time we're finished with our live stream that she'll have enough attitude that we can name her. But for now, let me stop and actually read your comment here. I'm glad you enjoy watching my brain in its natural state. It can be a little overwhelming knowing that I have people watching me while I'm like thinking through my ideas because your average person would definitely plan ahead when they go ahead and make something like this. So um, I'm not doing that. I'm just going for it because I think that organically, when things just come together, they're more magical. A lot of times I plan things, I don't like it. I feel like I tried too hard or something. I don't know. So we're not going to plan, we're just winging it. But I do feel like I need to cut, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I feel like I need to cut this piece. I'm going to try to just brute strength break it on the table. Let's see how it goes. It's cracking. Oh. Oh, Lord. No, I don't think we're going to be able to crack it this way. I should have brought that little saw. I thought it was a good idea, and then I was like, nah, I don't need a saw. I think I do need a saw. But, oh, there's a crack forming. I think if I work at it, I think we can get it. But again, deflect. Watch your eyes. I'm glad you enjoy watching it real time. I sometimes worry it takes me too long to get to the point and people get bored. Um, but you know what? That's part of the artistic process. Really, nothing comes together. Yay! We did it. Nothing comes together that quickly. I think the internet has sort of ruined us in the sense that everyone wants to see something like magically happen in 30 seconds, and it's just not how it works. Um, I probably have made that made it look easy a few times by making videos that are very short, and my bad. I guess I should do less of that because people start to get antsy wanting to see things created like rapid fire, and I just don't have it in me. I'm not a rapid fire kind of creator. So sometimes I just fall silent for very long periods of time, and months go by where I don't make anything, and people are like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." Anyways, let's see. Maybe we should give her like I don't know, like a little belly? Maybe she's like a little pregnant stick lady. I don't hate that idea. These two pieces kind of go together in a unique way, but you know what? I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna just let that idea marinate for a second. So, because I could attach, if I put her other arm like so. All right, so yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going for it. This is the top of her other arm. She's gonna be a little crooked, because they're always crooked. You like the belly? Okay, we're doing it. It's official. Okay. But to add the belly, we need firepower here because wax is the binder, and the way I use my wax is unique in the sense that I fuse things together very hot. Um, it might be considered a little bit dangerous, so use caution. Be cautious if you try this at home. Fusing versus just sticking things together. The difference is you get the wax so hot that the two pieces essentially become liquidous, and when they touch, they fuse like you would weld something. It's essentially welding but with wax. And then you gotta give it a second to cool off. You don't want to bend the joint really quickly because before the wax is solidified, then you're gonna have a weak joint. Same as welding. It's pretty much the same thing as welding. But you gotta be careful that you don't preliminarily bend things. So you gotta give it a second to cool, and you'll see it change colors because it'll go from very hot and red to essentially like a foggier pink, which means that it is hardened. But we're gonna need a good amount of wax because these are two big pieces. So, and then later when I go to touch this up, you'll um, see me kind of scrape away the extra wax because you don't want like big globs of wax all over the place. But for the time being, while we're just assembling, we're gonna leave big globs of wax all over the place. And then later, when we go to touch them up and cast, um, then we add back the details where the wax might have smeared some stuff or gotten in the way, and then we make them look lovely. But she's gonna be lovely either way. So let's see. I like this little gnarly bit here, but again, in the spirit of knowing that these are going to be cast someday, see how we've got like some space in there? This is like the bark separating from the wood. If you're going to cast stuff like this, you have to fill those voids with wax. Otherwise, they get really stuck in your molds, like in an unbearably annoying way. And I know this because I have made molds many a times with sticks that have like really beautiful texture, but I didn't think it through, and the mold making material gets all jammed up underneath the bark and in the crevices, and then you're essentially just like tearing at this thing trying to get it out. Sometimes it just never ever comes out. So now I know that if I want to use the texture, I have to work with it. And I have to fill the voids a little bit first. Precautionary tale. But I struggled through that so that some other person someday maybe won't struggle through that the same way that I did. You're welcome, whoever you are. But anyways, all right. Now that we've filled that in a little better, now I can put that in there. I think that that looks like it should be her other shoulder. The question is, which side do we like better? I think this one's got more attitude. Oopsies. I almost scorched myself. Another thing, don't let this wax drip on you. I have a scar, pretty solid scar on my hand from doing this exact thing. I was dripping wax and I dripped it directly onto my skin instead of onto the thing I was doing. And then, since it had burned me, I hadn't even really noticed. I was just like, oh, there's a piece of wax stuck to me, and I tried to peel it off and just took like a chunk of my hand with it. It was really cool. Quite disgusting. It took a long time to heal, and there is a scar there. So, hot wax ain't nothing to mess around with. I obviously mess around with it all the time. I'm definitely not careful enough. I will admit to that right now, but I'm pretty good at dodging dripping wax. Of course, since I said that, I'll probably burn the hell out of myself in 5 minutes, but we're gonna try not to. Try to not be distracted. But being distracted is how I live my life, so. Working with wax is wearing wax, you're not wrong. And hi, look, you made it! Hi! Welcome. Welcome to my live stream. We're only 17 minutes in, look at you. You didn't miss much at all. We don't even have a thing that looks like a thing yet, so you're ahead of the game. An hour from now, it'll probably look like a thing with arms and legs. But right now, not so much. We're getting there slowly. All right. So, attaching this arm. I guess when I'm attaching an arm here, I do need to kind of consider which position I want her arms to be in. I guess I can always move them, but maybe just casually down. I'll have them back a little bit because I don't want her to look like she's jogging. I don't know. Early 90s, eh? Yeah, I don't like to cast organic materials. I won't end up actually casting these. These will end up being molded first. Damn it. I will make silicone molds of them first because casting them as is such a risky maneuver. I'm sure you know that, yeah, you can, if you're casting an original and you mess up anything, that original is gone, or at least damaged to a point where you're going to be doing a lot of extra work to get back the details and stuff that you lost. So I make molds first, silicone molds, which is not a walk in the park by any means, especially with all these little details. The silicone gets all stuck. It's very infuriating, I would have to say, but I think worth it. I'm getting better at mold making with sticks and things. I typically have to cut them into pieces. So I make the entire thing painstakingly and then I break it back into pieces again just to mold it. And then once I have all the molds, I can reassemble the duplicates in wax a lot easier than in stick form, I suppose I should say. Yeah, I don't 3D print at the moment. I have no experience whatsoever with 3D printing, but I have heard that it's like, it's a futuristic way of, making your life easier as a sculptor. I'm a little behind on the curve when it comes to the newfangled technologies because As you can see, I like making stuff with my hands, just like the old school way. I know it's super impractical, and to a certain degree, like way harder than it needs to be, but isn't that just the fun of it? Making things just harder than they need to be. It's part of my life. I've just lived that way forever. Maybe someday I will adopt some newfangled things, but for now, I'm gonna struggle because everyone enjoys watching me struggle, I guess. Uh, yeah, watching the opposite of other people is definitely an intriguing thing for me as well. I like to see people that do like really intricate CAD work as well, which is a thing I again have absolutely no experience with because nobody ever taught me, and I also never took any classes on it or anything. And I totally should have because it would have made so much sense as a jeweler. And of course, like college me was like, I don't want to do that. I want to be in studio. So I was just, like every day just grinding metal and welding and like doing all kinds of dangerous shit because that was like my favorite. I love it. Um, but like practical skills, nobody sat me down and was like, listen, you really should learn how to do this. Nobody gave me that guidance. They were like, yeah, metal, fire. Wow. That's why you're supposed to watch your eyes because things go flying everywhere. Whoops. All right. Whew. You learned to CAD on your own? I hear that it is possible. Me and technology, man, we're not pals at all. I struggle, even just setting up live streams is like, every time I do it, something is wrong. This time I'm actually shocked that everything is working, but there's always like moments where I'm like, uh-oh, my sound doesn't work. Uh-oh, my video doesn't work. Or I'm like out of frame the entire time. Um, you know, longer than I've been alive. Wow, good chance, but maybe not. I don't know. Um, I have recently had people think that I'm like significantly younger than I am, and I'm like, that's nice. Thank you. I think it's just because I'm colorful. I'm a colorful individual. I feel like a lot of people get more boring as they age, and that's a darn shame. I feel like I'm getting infinitely more interesting as I get older. PC 1984. Yep, that was prior to my birth. I am not, I was not alive at that time. Almost, almost alive, but not quite. All right. I am giving my little lady here like a pelvis, if you're wondering what I'm doing. Or at least attempting to give her a pelvis. Because another thing about me is I do love giving little creatures like adorable butt cheeks. I just have to. I don't know. Who else is here? Oh, hello! Sorry you're late. It's okay. No worries. There is no late. I'm late for everything, all the time. If this wasn't my live stream, I would have been late too. True story. I am late for my whole life. Um, yeah, I think it's an artist thing, to be honest. I need more wax. More wax. Um, let's see, what are we gonna use here? I have like my drawer of wax that I'm trying to find what I need here. We're just gonna take random little chunks off of this big block. I have like all the blocks of different colors. We're gonna go black this time. Um, yeah, I forgot what I was saying. I got distracted. Oh, I'm adding a little extra chunk of wax here to give my little tree woman, um, some, like, hips. I'm gonna give her some hips, I think. Let's see if it fits. I feel like I think something's gonna fit and then I'm wrong, but let's see. I'm also terrible at staying in frame. I apologize. I am doing my best. But again, technology, me and technology. I definitely, oh, son of a gun. Um, I definitely struggle to film myself. People are like, oh, you should do um, time lapses and blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, because you're gonna see me for 10 seconds in the frame, and then the next hour I'm like over here, like, and you're gonna see nothing. It's not gonna be fun for anybody. So me and time lapses also, it's never happened unless I get around to maybe like taping off an area on my desk that says like stay here, like big letters. I have to write myself like a note off camera that just like don't go outside of this square. That might be my only hope of doing longer form videos where I'm actually in the frame. But someday, someday soon. My studio here right now, as you can see behind me, there's not a darn thing in this room. This room's empty. You can probably also hear in the echo that this is an empty room. So my studio is not exactly equipped with everything I need at the moment because we are having a very difficult time moving out of our home. But that's a different story. Different story for a different day. Some of you may already know how terrible that is going, but in the meantime, on a note where I am actually doing a good job with technology, note the lovely blue hue in the room behind me. Isn't that fancy? I found like a little cheapy LED like light thingy that you can just pick any color you want and you just like throw it behind you in a room and then the whole room is a pretty color. And I gotta say, it saved me from this room being a hideous shade of like off-white, like it was in my last video. But there's nothing on any of the walls because we did empty this room out because we were supposed to paint it and then move, and it didn't happen. Still devastated about it, but whatever. Moving on with life. Doesn't always go as planned. Well, we'll move someday. Maybe. Maybe. Yeehaw. Oops. Don't even get me started on beige. The color beige. I have beige rage. Beige enrages me. I hate it so much. Every time I see a house that's painted beige, I'm like, do people know there are other colors? They must know. Who picks beige on purpose is what I want to know. I could see if you buy a house and it's already beige, like, all right, you're not gonna repaint the house. That's a whole thing. But when somebody opts to paint a room beige, I question their sanity. Because come on now, it could be anything. It could be any color and choose beige. Nuts. All right. So we're giving her her upper arm on her other side. I guess I gotta think here about, how do we want her to stand? Is she gonna kind of like jut her hips forward a little bit, like she's offsetting her belly? I think she has to, in which case this arm should go back a little bit. So I'm gonna try to hold these sticks all haphazardly with my other fingers while I glue them together with wax. Let's see. Let's hope I don't burn myself. We're gonna do it. Boop. There we go. Then just stay very still for a second here. Well, that hardens so we don't mess up our joint. Perfect. Do a little reinforcing on this side. All right. So there's a shoulder for now. A makeshift shoulder. We're not gonna touch it just for a minute here because we don't want it to break off. But all right. She's got a touch of scoliosis, but don't they all? I mean, they're tree people. The other guy got a little crooked neck. Honestly, those are my favorite details in these things, is making everybody like a little wonky because that's how nature is. It's a very, it just goes. The branches grow the way they grow, you know? It's a little rhyme for you. Okay. All right. So before we give her the rest of her arms, I think we need to give her legs because that's how we're gonna position, you know, her stance. And without knowing which way she's standing, it's kind of hard to know where to put her arms. So legs are gonna be next. The question is, do we want her to stand like, I don't know, maybe kind of hip shot? I don't know if we can pull off hip shot. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to pull off hip shot. And if you're like, what the hell is hip shot? Um, I thought that was a term everyone knew, but if you don't know, it's just a way that women typically stand and not so much men, where you kind of pop one hip out and you lean on that leg so that you can rest your other hip. I think women do it more when they're holding children because children are friggin' heavy. Um, let's see. Do we want her to look like little stumpy thighs or big long ones? Stumpy. Okay. So this is gonna be her stumpy little leg, thigh, upper leg. Again, a saw would have probably been helpful. Let's see. Also, very recently, I was informed by one of my lovely friends, who may even be here, it's possible, um, that cottonwood trees, sticks like this, there's like a myth, a legend around them that they're like you break one of these twigs and they like releases the stars into the sky because when you look at them broken, there's like a little star on the inside. And I tested this theory a while ago and it's actually true. Damn it, this is a really hard. This one is not, it's not super dry, and that's the issue here, is that I'm struggling to cut it. So I'm gonna leave that one alone because I'm struggling. And I'll try a different one that's maybe not so damp. We've had a lot of rain in the last few days, so not me specifically for the stars, but if the legend is true, I'm releasing all the stars by cutting these sticks into pieces, which is kind of a lovely thought, isn't it? Dang, I wish I'm back to this stick again because this is the one I need. This is the appropriate thickness stick that I'm looking for, unfortunately. It's just really, um, I collected it today and it rained a lot yesterday, so. Oh, son of a gun. It went flying. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, these were on the. Is this even the one I just cut? Or is this a different one that I lost? I don't know. I do have bigger cutters in the basement for sprues. And I'll be quite honest with you, I thought about bringing them upstairs and forgot to do it before I started. Before I started the live stream. So here we are. I forgot again. Just, the usual behavior. Whoops. All right. But you know what? Next time I will get my bigger ones out. Because that's definitely a logical thing to do. I don't think this is the stick I just cut. I am not convinced this is the one. I think I just found a random stick. Where did you go? This is not the one. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. And it's just I'm losing my mind. But it doesn't feel like the right one. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you can see that there is like a little star. I don't know if you can see it. My camera's probably not gonna allow it, but it is technically there would be a little star in there. I did mangle it by smashing it with my cutters, but the legend is true. Okay, let's see. Whoops. All right, in my mind, this made more sense, and now I'm a little thrown. Okay. I think we're gonna have to build up her hip a little bit more with wax than I would like, but it's gonna work. Trust me. Oops. So try to stay in the frame again. All right, so I'm just gonna stick that there. Yeah, right. Nope, that's not what I want. Nope, that's not what I want either. I'm very particular about the direction of my sticks because I have a vision for them and they have to be the direction that I want. Or even though they're all very similar directions, there's a little curve. It's a tiny little curve. And it's important, darn it. Okay. You can't flip that around or it's like she's got her leg on backwards. Alright, I think that should do it. I'm gonna hold that for a sec. Alright. And then we're gonna reinforce from the back before it falls off or before I smack into it and knock it off while doing something reckless like I tend to do. So we're gonna let her sit for a second. Okay. We're starting to see a shape of a thing. For reference, this is the size of the other guy. So she needs more. She needs a head, she needs arms, she needs second half of her legs so that she can be similar in size to him. I am glad you're enjoying the unfiltered process. It is, it's not for everyone. I mean, I'm sure I'm a little long-winded for some, but talking it through is different too because I don't typically do that. If I wasn't live streaming, I wouldn't be like spitballing all of the things out loud, of course. But the thoughts would still be happening inside my brain, just not out loud. Maybe I'll switch up. I like to switch out and put like a completely different type of twig than what I've got going. Ooh, I have a whole box of stuff. Oh no, I don't. That's the wrong box. Never mind. Oh shit. Sorry, YouTube. I know I'm not supposed to swear. Sorry. Oops. I also smacked one of my lights like a crazy person when I did that. Because I've got this other piece of wood that's got like a good leggy kind of vibe to it. Oh yeah, we're using this. Oops. We're using this because this little knob on the edge here is gonna kind of add to our the hippie look we're going for. You're not an asymmetrical dude. I feel like I love asymmetry. Symmetrical things, like, I'm just very not symmetrical in anything that I do. I mean, you can kind of tell by my work that I don't do geometric-y kind of things. Every once in a while, if I have like a set of wings or something, they have to be kind of symmetrical, but even then, I still usually biff that because my brain just doesn't work that way. And that's fine. I like the all-natural kind of chaos of asymmetry. Watch the eyeballs. I got a glass of water here that's going to end up probably with a stick in it in a second, but yep. All right. I find little pieces of sticks all over the freaking place after I do these live streams because I cut them and they just go like bing, bing, bing all over the place, and I don't bother to find them. My cat usually finds them. And then I'm like, why are you chewing on a piece of wood? What's happening here? All right. All right, so we're gonna give her some hips. She's gonna be hippie. And I think I'm gonna try to reinforce this joint by get my sharp knife out caution. Caution, folks. I'm trying to cut a little chunk out of this. Oops. Whittle away a little piece so that it kind of sits. The other piece will sit kind of into it a little bit. Oops. Just so that when I put the wax there, it's not just relying solely on wax. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I think I need to trim a little bit of this. Make room. Getting there. Get out of here. Get out of here, you. It's always tricky to not smash the things I've already done. Gotta be really gentle. Yeah, I'm sure if you love geometry and being symmetrical, CAD is the way to go, because doing hand sculpting things and having the desire for them to be symmetrical is like a losing game. You're setting yourself up for frustration, I would think, because it's really, really hard to be symmetrical when you're doing stuff by hand, unless you're using like, mathematical tools and you're measuring things and stuff like that, which I'm sure people do, but I'm not one of those people. I'm not using whatever protractors and such. What is a trash tier sculptor? What does that mean? Oops. I think there's really not tiers. I feel like sculpting is so personal. It's so different. I've met so few people that have similar styles, unless somebody is straight up imitating somebody else because they're doing a study or whatever, which is different. Like obviously in college you do that where you sculpt like a certain sculptor, or you're sculpting something that you're looking at because you're trying to imitate or mimic that style just for the exposure and the practice and whatever. But when it comes to people's actual personal styles, like I really don't know. I don't know anybody who does anything the same way. Even the guys who like taught me how to cast, um, my professor actually saw the other day. He was a wonderful human being and very creative, and he casts still, and yeah, he makes things totally different in a totally different way and sees the world in a totally different way than me. Though we're very similar people, our art is like totally polar opposite. It's kind of cool how that works. People are such individuals. Math. That's where we're different. I hate math so much. I would say the only thing that I have to technically consider is weight distribution when I'm building sculptures, which is a thing that I do consider. And yes, I guess, there's some science and math involved there, but um, that's one of those things that it doesn't even feel like it's technical. It's just second nature kind of at this point. But the math and science that goes along with casting, oof. I was just talking to my mother about this yesterday and how much I despise doing equations and trying to figure out volume and stuff for molds. Oh my god, kill me. That's just my least favorite thing on planet Earth. It really, really makes me sad. I dread it. I dread it with my like entire person. Um, okay, really quick. Lower leg. I don't know what to do here. My problem is that these are two similar sizes, and I don't love that. I feel like I need a differentiating knee gap between the knees where something's a little different. You don't want them to be the same. Let's see. All right, I'm just gonna cut some pieces off and see how I feel about them. This one might be good. I don't hate that one. Or I can flip it over. Oh yeah, let's flip it over. These are snapping so much easier than the other ones. Thank the Lord, because they were starting to get really, really challenging for me. I wasn't loving sawing through these pieces of wood. All right. I might even go as far as to like give her knee joints specifically. I gave the other guy like little, he had little like kneecaps made of bark. They're kind of cool. Maybe I'll do that to give it a little more, give her a little more pizzazz. So she's got like lean legs, like a lady. He's got like big old chonky legs, like a dude. No offense to dudes. You know what I mean. He's burlier. She's more ladylike, I suppose. All right. The question is, how far down are we going with the knee joint? This one is just too big, I think. We're gonna have to get rid of this one a little bit. Watch your eyeballs. I don't round my numbers when I'm measuring my actual metal, but like when I'm doing equations for volume of the investment and the mold and stuff like that, I will often wing that because I have an idea in my head. I've done it so many times. I know kind of how much I need. I don't have to be super technical unless I'm making something completely new that I've never made before, and then there are definitely times where I'm like way more nervous I'm gonna mess it up, I guess. And if I'm nervous I'm gonna mess it up, then I end up measuring it out like I'm supposed to, the correct way. All right. Her legs are about the same length here. If we add these two things, oops, there we go. If we add these two pieces, she has similar length legs, and I think that's what we need to do. So, question is stance. We wanted her to be hip shot. Can I pull that off? Still not sure. I think we're gonna have to kind of like wing it and see what happens here. To do the hip shot situation, this one needs to be up a little higher than this one. Okay. All right, I have it in my mind. We're going for it. I can't explain it in words, I'm sorry, but it's gonna work. It's gonna work, I'm telling you right now. Okay. So this makes me want to watch The Last Lord of the Rings like real bad. I watched the first two extended cuts. Oh, shot. I'm out of wax. Hold on. I watched the first two extended cuts. The last couple weeks, I've been watching them in like pieces, like hour-long segments, because I just like do not have time to watch them all like one in a rip because they're like 4 hours long. But I got through the Two Towers last week or the week after, the week before. I don't know. Time is flying. But I know the last one is like crazy stupid long, but it's so good. And I just do love the magic of the whole thing. The special effects are so amazing. That movie came out when I was like a very impressionable age, and I was like, I'm sure that's probably why I do stuff like this. Honestly, that's a big part of my inspiration is like those franchises, like winning all those awards for special effects and set design and blah blah blah, character design. They were really ahead of their time, and I was so crazy impressed by all of that. And these guys definitely have some ant-like qualities, for sure. They're like tiny little ants. But making little ents is making me want to watch the last one. I gotta get on it. I just don't have time. Sad. I need to make time. I'm spread too thin these days. Having different length legs is definitely gonna be challenging. I think as an ant, um, little stick woman, I think she's got the technique down. But let's see. I'm gonna have her kind of, oops, gotta be careful. We need this one bent back because we also need her to be able to stand up, and she's not able to stand on her own. Let's zoom out here. Whoops. There we go. I want these sculptures, when they're cast, I want them to be able to stand. So that is important. That is an important element. It is tricky to keep the position right and then lay down the whole thing. Kind of doing a terrible job. I think that's good enough. I can always adjust. I can always lop off a limb, put it back on a different direction if I have to. I haven't cast a new bronze creature in a while. I had a little, was on like a fairy kick for a little while. And made a bunch of fairies. And then I got kind of sick of making fairies, to be honest. Just wasn't fun anymore. But I'm sure someday I'll make another one. Yeah, if this starts walking away, if I find this walking through my house later tonight, I will be horrified. So you're right, would be a much larger problem. All right. So she's got some posture now, but there's no chance she's going to stand on her own without some feet. The other guy has some big, chonky ass feet, and she is not going to have chonky feet. So we're going to have to give her, I don't know, feet in a different, exciting way. A new, exciting way. But I don't know if I should do her arms first while I'm thinking about it, or if I should pivot. Also, her butt needs some work. She doesn't have a butt. She needs one. I think that piece would go right there perfectly. So we're going to do that. Before I forget, we're going to give her a butt. It's going to fit right in that little groove. It's another reason I love this particular type of branch, because they have so many little like knobs and stuff that they often like fit together kind of like puzzle pieces, and it's super satisfying when they kind of just nestle and you're like, oh yeah, that's the stuff, that's what I needed. These two nestle together quite well. Give it a little wax. We're gonna probably have to patch some other pieces in there to give it, give her the whole rear end that I'm envisioning in my mind. But for now, pieces and parts. Whoops, whoops. And of course, got to remember, a lot of this wax is gonna not be visible later. When I go to cast this, I'm gonna touch all this up, and these joints will be all smooth and integrated into the patterns in the wood. So right now they're really just, they serve the purpose of holding everything together. And yeah, it looks a little wonky right now, but trust me, trust the process. Okay, so there's a hip butt region. butt legs. All right, and we need to give her, I'm gonna say another little piece. Sometimes I have other sculptures that I've used this technique where I double layer the sticks next to each other for a double, like a, I don't know how to describe it. Just to kind of, they almost look like tendons, muscles and tendons next to each other. So I think we're going to do that with her because she's a lady. She's got some thighs. She's got a little meat on her bones. And I think that'll look really cool. So that one fit in there again like a glove. Let's give it a little glue in her inner thigh muscle. Perfect. Clean that wax up later, but for now. Oh, shit, it's hot. Don't burn yourself. I feel like doing this would be such a fun, like a workshop. If I could have people that come and bring their own stuff and that they have their own visions and just let people like go with it. Just get their creativity out. Make the little weird creatures. Do what you gotta do. Where you see a joint, where you see an elbow, where you see an arm, just naturally, just like make it work, make it happen. Trust your vision. Um, Sometimes it looks wild at first, but like it's so much fun to see how it becomes a thing. A lot of fun. And honestly, this is like doing this kind of stuff is one of the few times that I'm not like crazy stressed. I feel like stress, one of those things about being an artist is like stress just follows you everywhere, and the only time you can ever be rid of it really is when you're making art. All right, I think we're gonna, this one kind of twists around. We might do the inner thigh situation again, but this one goes all the way down, maybe there. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know. Maybe go up a little higher. Hmm. Hmm. This will fit together. I'm making it work. Oh. It's one of those things, like it's like doing a puzzle where you're like, no, that's not right. Then you twist it a little bit and you're like, still not right. It will be right. We're gonna get there. Maybe not. Maybe we won't get there. I don't know. I think this piece, I wanted to wrap around the front like that. But maybe it's just too long. Possible it's just too long. Maybe we can go around the back. And then towards the front. Maybe. Maybe. No. Nope, not working. I don't hate it from the side, but I hate it from the front. I'm kidding. I don't hate anything. I'm just, it's like not satisfying. It could be that it's just too long. Let me cut a little piece off. Let's see how I feel. Ow, that one kind of hurt. Need better snippies. We're getting closer. I just need to find the position. Ooh, did we find it? Where it fits? Where it just fits right in there? Pretty close, right? Right in here somewhere. Alright, I'm just gonna pull the trigger on this because I feel like we're in the general vicinity of where we should be. And if I hate it, I'll take it off. It's always a possibility. These come apart very easily. Sometimes I'll put a piece together and then after I think about it for a little while, I'm like, meh, remove, remove. But for right now, place that there for a little double thigh curvature. We'll see how it goes. Nope. Changed my mind. I've instantly changed my mind. I'm gonna get rid of the wax that's in the way here because I don't like it. It happens. You put it there and you go, no, wrong. Take it away. Honestly, no, I don't like this one either. I don't know if this one's gonna be as easy to take off, but let's try. Oh, good. Came right off. Goodbye. All right. Yeah, I had a feeling that piece was coming off. If I don't love it, it ends up going. I'll stare at it for a little while and see if it grows on me, but typically when I do something like that, it's like if I don't love it the second I place it, it's not going to stay there very long. So, she's back to having skinny thighs. All right, but maybe I'll pivot to her head because that at least will make me get my mind off of her feet and legs for a little while so that I can think about what I want to do. Sometimes stepping away is the ticket. Step away for a little bit. Then when you come back, you're like, ah, yes, that is the thing. That is the move I want to make. All right, so picking a face is usually the best part of these twig things because you can like find some things in them that kind of look like eyeballs a lot of the time and put them next to each other, noses and eyeballs. Let's see. They might have. Ow. That was weird. That was a weird feeling. My feet are falling asleep, and I keep kind of forgetting that. I keep forgetting that I have feet. And then I move, and I'm like, whoa. What's going on down there? Feet? You acting crazy. Oh, yeah. Can we just talk about how great this stick is for a second? I'm having one of those moments where I'm like, this is going to be the perfect addition to her arms. It's got such a good, like, flowy vibe. I love it. We're not there yet, but it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. Okay. Back to her face. First things first here. She needs a neck because her neck is a little chonky here. I'm just going to take a random piece of this and cut it and see how I feel about it. The other guy's head was a thicker piece. I think we're going to give her like a double a double wide stick. I'm gonna try to get two pieces that fit together, like I was just saying, where they kind of nestle, and hopefully we can get two, looks like two eyes. I think it's gonna happen. I think we're gonna get one right here. They're gonna be a little bit. She's gonna be cross-eyed. Maybe a little cross-eyed, but I think it's gonna be kind of cute. She's gonna be cute. All right. So I need to attach these two pieces to each other. Or let's see, let's try flipping it upside down first. No. No. Okay, go like that. All right. Glue time. A good stick is a good thing. I love looking for sticks. I was wondering today, like, how weird my neighbors think I am because I go pick up sticks when I'm walking my dog across the street, and it's kind of like a big open area, and uh, he just wanders around because he's like a little stumpy little basset hound boy, and he doesn't really wander because he's just like got little tiny legs, and he just it's not his like prerogative to run away. So I just like let him wander around, and I'm just in like down on the ground like foraging for sticks like a squirrel, and there are cars driving by me, and I'm sure they're like, what is that woman doing? What a nut job. But you know what? I am a bit of a nut job. I'm proud of that. That is who I am. They only wish they were weird enough and had the urge at all to go out and forage for sticks, because I bet people don't even have it in them. I can't relate at all. Alright. So she's got like a weird little double stick head. But I did want to do something with these, whatever they're called. We're going to bring a new tool into the mix here, and we're going to pull some of these off. Hopefully we don't break them horribly. But she might need like a little hat. That's sort of what I feel like might happen here. Oh, I broke it immediately. What did I say? I knew that was going to happen. Let's try to go straight. Oh, god damn it. These are not easy to pull off. I might have to try to break them. I think that I am at a disadvantage here because all of the things I foraged today they were a little damp because of the weather. Normally these things break pretty easily. Not today. Oh, there's sap all over this one. Son of a gun. Oh boy, now I've done it. Now I'm going to be sticky for the rest of the day. I had a feeling this one was going to be sticky because there's like obviously visible sap. But I was hoping that it was mostly dried on there and not going to be all over my hands. But wishful thinking, they say. All right. This is going to drive me totally crazy. I will be right back. I gotta wash my hands. All right, that worked terribly. My hands are still very sticky. Oh well. Comes with the territory, I guess. Anyways, we have some little pieces that we can maybe experiment with. I do like to sometimes give these people little like hats and ears and stuff. But oh, you know what? Darn, I left it downstairs. I did get like a little, well, it would have been a pain. Never mind. Pretend I didn't say anything. Play with sticks get sticky. Yes, I know, all of these things. Technically, the pine cone is the sticky thing. Whoopsies. If I rub my hands together enough, it'll like go away. I don't know. Alright. Who do we have? Ouch. Here. A hat. How lovely. A hat would be lovely, but they're very sticky little hats. And of course, we need to first give her a head before we give her a hat. She needs a face because you need to know how the face is gonna look. Um, you know, the face structure, bone structure, so to speak. So I'm gonna give her a little. We're gonna put a little wax on her face, give her some shape. Let's see where it goes. I tend to use. I don't want to use too much wax when I shape their faces, but the one thing I kind of think um, that usually is my go-to is like lips or cheekbones specifically because I feel like those are very like prominent features that you can easily identify. But I like to kind of just let's see if I can get closer for you. Whoops. I like to kind of just let the wax like occasionally go blob up in weird places or go every which way, and you just see how it looks. So we're gonna give her some cheekbones. And yeah, see if that works or not. She's got a little funky cheekbone, one little funky cheekbone. She's got kind of like Picasso eyes. But he's got more, his eyes make more sense than hers. Hers are a little bit wild, but I don't like all my things to look the same. So I'm gonna, gotta see what works for me and what looks too crazy. And if I have to remove one of her wonky eyes, I can always do that too. But let's give her a little one on the other side. Just kind of trying to frame the eyes that are naturally on the piece of wood to kind of draw the attention there. Because it sometimes can be kind of unclear what looks like an eye and what doesn't. Of course, this is also upside down, which I gotta imagine is confusing as hell for you as a viewer. So I'll try not to dilly-dally too much on her face. I'll give her a little nose, crooked little nose, and then we can go from there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to move one of her eyes because she looks crazy with those asymmetrical Picasso face eyes. I won't move it a lot. It's still gonna be crooked, but move it enough that she's at least cute. We don't want her to be like this grotesque thing. She's supposed to be cute. A little mouth. Okay. Get rid of that. We are very blurry. There we go. Sometimes I forget about the camera and I get like in front of it with my whole head. Happens sometimes. Cheekbone. One eye is crazy. I think we're gonna have to fix the crazy eye later. She kind of looked more like a dude, and that's not what I was going for. Like a he looks bearded. He looks like Treebeard a tiny bit. She looks like Treebeard. Was not the intention. But we want him to be natural. So, alright. I don't know if you can see. Just a little bit of a face. I'll flip it upside down for you. There we go. Now you can sort of see what's going on. Eyes, nose. Camera doesn't want to focus. You know, the usual. I don't know what the problem is here. There we go. But yeah. She's got a face. So there's a face there. Enough of a face. Oh, hello, Tummy. I had requests for you earlier today. People wanted to know if you were going to be here. Would you like to say hello? Come here. Hey. Hey. Stop blinding yourself with that light. He's literally just sitting on top of my LED light, like letting it blast him in the face. Hey. Come here. That's better for your brain. Come here. Come say hi. Oh, come here, boy. Come here, boy. Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. Cat's here. Cat's here for a moment. He likes to usually get on the camera and and steal the things. Like stealing things. But keep your head away from the fire, bro. Okay. So this little guy usually sits back a little bit so that I can keep working. All right. So we're not going to work too much more on the face because I just want to position it properly. The position of the head I feel like is so important that we don't want to mess that up. That is critical. That is a critical skill here. Let's zoom out a little. There we go. So the position of the head, I don't know where we're going to put the head. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. She's a little crooked neck, so I guess that's first things first here. And I think it's going to have to come from the side here. I just had an idea. Let's see. Let's see if this is a terrible idea or not. Because this little crevice here. Do I want to leave that little crevice on the shoulder or not? Over here. Dana's here. Hi, Dana. What's up? Welcome. Welcome to the party. Tummy's here. Tummy also just arrived. Unless you've been here and I just saw your name, in which case, my apologies. I'm not looking over at my computer that much. Okay. Think. Tums. Let's see. Well, I gotta hold this in place and see if this is right. Oh yeah, I'm into it. Let's do it. We're doing it. I'm gonna put this piece right there. Right there. I just gotta hold it in the right spot. Tums, your head is a little bit in the way, I have to say. Tiny, oopsies, tiny bit in the way. But it's okay. You were personally requested at this live stream, so I have to allow you to be here for a little bit. He's being very good. He's just sitting here. People wonder all the time, they're like, how do you get anything done with him on your lap? Like, because he just sits here. He's just sitting here staring. I don't know. He just loves love. uh, he is supervising. Yeah, he doesn't really interject much. Sometimes he does when I'm making jewelry. If I'm working with chains, like I can't do anything with him because he thinks they're fun and he'll like swipe at them and steal them and run away. And I'm like, all right, we're done with that. But when it comes to sculpting, he just sits here on my lap. I think he likes to sit and be part of what's going on. And then when he realizes it's boring, he leaves. He's like, yep, all right, I'm good. I'm out of here. But often he will lay down, and then you'll see him on my lap just trying to bite me while I'm working, and I'm like, nah, we're done. We're done. All right. You know what? She's gonna be taller than him. Yeah, by like a lot. I like that for her. I like that she's taller than him. I'm gonna say we're gonna have a look that is. She's gonna be looking offward into the, like she's a weary traveler, looking off. So let's attach her head. And then we're going to add in all of our stabilizing pieces like feet and hands and things. Okay. She's got kind of a look like, yo, what? What is that? Like, yikes. She's seeing something. There's an asteroid hitting the Earth. That's the expression on her face, but isn't that kind of the expression we've all had on our faces for like months? Like, huh, what? I think it's very fitting, actually. Very fitting. Anyways, all right, she needs limbs. I remember this stick now being just like a gem, so we're gonna grab that one because it's beautiful. This is a beautiful stick. It's just got a lot of character. I don't know. It's the weirdo in me loving sticks, but it's got a vibe. The question is, what angle are we going with? Now I can't unsee the like look of horror on her face. She looks horrified. I love it. We don't want to go back with this arm. We're going to go forward with this arm. But it's got to be resting on the ground, so we have to test this here because got to make sure that it's holding her up. I believe this is right about where we need to be for this to work. Right about here. That's the spot. That's the spot. Okay. Whoops. Oh, goodness gracious. There is sap on the inside of this stick, so now I need to be careful. Or it's gonna be everywhere. It's already all over one hand, but I'm kind of just embracing it. It is what it is. It's fine. Trying to plug up the sappy part with wax. I don't know if that's gonna work, but we're gonna try. We're doing it. Okay. Like so. Okay. Stay there. Nope, not staying. Nope, not staying. All right. We're gonna hope that this is sort of where I put it. I have no idea. We'll figure it out when we turn it back around. Alright. Stay. Stay. Stay there, stick. Alright. That's sort of where I wanted it. It's good enough. I can always move it later, but for now. Okay. Alright, so she doesn't stand on her own yet, which course, is going to have to be remedied. So what I like to do here is hands, lovely little crazy, creepy hands. And we've got some good hand material here. Take a little piece. You know, she looks a little tipsy. You're not wrong. I kind of love the general, like, bewildered. She looks bewildered. We're gonna go with bewilderment. Maybe she's looking at the northern lights that everyone seemed to see except for me. Who saw the northern lights? Anyone? I don't know where you guys all live respectfully when it comes to where the northern lights are at. But like around here apparently they were very visible and it has been just raining every day. Yeah, cloudy and rain. So we got nothing. We got nothing here in New York and I'm bummed. Because everyone was like, "Oh, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." I'm like, "Yeah, rain. It's raining." Um, you know, of course. But I guess like I didn't know really anything about the northern lights. I didn't realize they were caused by like crazy solar flares, which I feel like sounds terrifying if you think about it, but you missed them. Yeah, I guess there was only they only said it was like they were further south than they typically are, but not most of America still didn't see much, but um, there were definitely parts of New York that got a good view, but it's probably more like west. Um, we are not on the western part. The pretty area of New York is not where I'm at. I'm where there's still like cities, but like small ugly ones, not big cool ones. That part of New York, if you know what I mean. What's terrifying about that? I mean, it feels very out of control. I think that's what it is. Space in general is kind of horrifies me because of the just like sheer chaos of it all. Like, yeah, it's so huge that typically the scary things that are happening, it's like, oh, well, this giant thing flying through the air is like a gajillion light years away, so it's not a problem. But you're like, but if it wasn't a gajillion light years away, maybe it would be a problem. I mean, Armageddon. We all saw Armageddon back in the 90s or whenever that was. At least I did. And I was like, oh no, this is a new fear unlocked. The whole, uh, Earth ending, the ending of the Earth. That was a good movie. Speaking of that movie, I don't need to watch that one again. I feel like now it would be like, you know, what if that could do it? That would be the answer. Voyager Blue Dot, what's that? Is it like a photo of some scary thing that I didn't know about until this very moment? Because I feel like that's what you're gonna say to me. It's gonna be like this horrifying thing they found in space and took a picture of. Oops. I do love seeing pictures from deep space. Like every time there's one of those really, really like crazy pictures of the galaxy that's a gajillion years away or something, I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. Why don't we have any pretty stuff near us? I mean, I guess our actual galaxy is pretty, but if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm making tiny little fingers. This one is going to be a thumb. Oh, the pictures of the Earth. Okay, that's less terrifying. You know, I've been thinking recently, I read something about how, like, obviously we're all on the planet because of gravity, but like that when you look in the sky, up into the sky, that like you might be looking down. And I'm like, ah, that's one of those things where you're like, yeah, nope, that's definitely a possibility. Like, we might just be standing on the earth looking like down into the depths of, like infinite space below us, which that does seem kind of terrifying. Um, but also super awesome. That we always think we're looking up, but like, we're not. We're probably not looking up. I love that. So now every time I look up into the sky, I'm like, maybe we're looking down into just darkness. Never ending. Just an abyss of darkness below us and around us everywhere. Isn't that just a lovely thought? Just endless abyss. All right. Okay, so I've given her like a wonky little hand that she's gonna walk on her knuckles like her dude. Though now they're in the exact same position and I don't love that. Maybe I should have done something different with her hand. Maybe I can put them on the front? Yeah, I'm gonna remove her whole hand and put it a different way. Maybe she's walking palms down. We don't know. She's just touching the ground lightly with a hand. That's what I was thinking, maybe. Fingertips. Fingertips grazing the ground. That would be nice. Let's do that. We're gonna do that. But to do that, we need to shorten her arm a little bit. Watch your eyeballs. Shorten her arm, and then we put her hands like that. It's a more ladylike way of walking. The other guy's dragging his knuckles like a Neanderthal, and we're gonna have her very ladylike, just kind of grazing the ground with her fingertips. That's what I think. That's what I think we're doing. If I gotta give her another finger, which I might, I will do that. We're gonna just attach these first and see what they look like from the other side. Okay. Oh, yep. Lovecraft stories. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. Is it like space, like crazy space things, or is it like crazy nature things? All right, we're shifting. We've shifted the hand here a little bit. All right, much better. Okay, we're not gonna touch her hand for a little bit. I'm gonna just like let that idea simmer. All right, she's got a weird thumb. Her thumb's sort of going the wrong way. I might have to remove her thumb and turn it around, but H.P. Lovecraft. Ah. Uh-huh. Okay. Now I know what you mean. I have heard of the author. I don't know of the stories specifically. There was a show, I think, not that long ago that was based on some stuff. Um, don't really remember the premise of it, to be honest. But I watch a lot of television. Again, also I've heard, I don't even know how to pronounce that word, but I have heard that one. I have heard that one. I don't know what it's all about. But I do love me some creepy stories, some creepy natural monsters and such. So if there's monsters, like sign me up. I love a good monster. All right, she needs some feet. We need feet. We're gonna go this way. Boink. Okay. Oh no, she still has a missing one arm. I know. So also didn't think of that she needs a second arm. This is a good arm. That's got a lot of good, like, bumpy, cool, bumpy things happening. So maybe we'll go with a bumpy one for her arm. Maybe a little crossover in front of her because she is looking up like the world is ending. So we have that kind of a look. Like, oh, what? But I don't know. Could be a smidge too short. I don't know. All right, we gotta attach it. It's the only way to know is to attach it and see how it goes. Okay. So we're attaching this arm. How much far forward are we going here? Like that. Okay. She's gonna be able to stand in just a minute here. It's gonna be good stuff. As long as I don't mess up the fingers. Oops, I did it again. Sorry. Leaned in front of the camera. The thing on the doorstep. Okay, okay. Thing on the doorstep. Sounds creepy. Is it creepy? Are these creepy things? Alright. Whoa, lady. Drunk lady falling over. Alright. I'm giving her like a heel, I guess you could say, on the back of her leg here to keep her from falling backwards. So that's going to be her stabilizer. We just got to get it positioned correctly. Tommy, can you not do that, please? Cat's climbing the door frame over here like a madman. He didn't eat dinner because he didn't want to. He was like, I'm too sleepy. And I thought there was a good chance he was going to bother me during this live stream because he slept through dinner like a lazy bum. My other cat is like good to go. She's like, yeah, I don't miss dinner. So after dinner, you can do whatever you want. I ain't going to bother you. This guy, not the case. Aha! She stands beautiful. You had to put the book away after you read it. That sounds terrifying. I'm not sure that is up my alley. I am easily spooked. I don't love scary things. Though, I shouldn't say that because I love classic horror type literature. I feel like nowadays people go a little overboard with the gore and the scary things, but back in the day, I mean, like, obviously Frankenstein is having a moment right now. Frankenstein was always one of my favorite books. It was so well written and so, like, perfectly creepy, but not in like a grotesque way. But Dracula, again, another one of my favorites. They're so good and they're just like eerie. I like an eerie book. Unsettling, unsettling is one way to put it. Frankenstein, the perfect book, honestly. I have 0 notes for Frankenstein. It was one of the first books I read when I was in like lit classes in high school. I took like a college lit class when I was like a junior or something, and that was one of the first books we read, and I was like, this is an amazing book. Like, how is this? How are people not constantly talking about how amazing this book is? Mary Shelley was a genius. Ahead of her time, obviously. Paved the way for crazy people like me to make up stories and have other people read them and actually care about them. I hope someday. I'm going to put a book out into the world, and it's going to be weird. Letting you know right now. Working on one right now that is almost finished, and it is weird. You're going to like it, though, I bet. Anywho. Alright, we're making progress on Our Lady. Let me turn her upside down so you can see. Right side up, I guess I should say. She is kind of spooky. She does stand now, which I guess I could show you in the this way, in this screen. She's very skinny. She's got like a Slender Man vibe that is freaking me out a little bit. Um, the other dude is definitely chunkier. She needs like I think she needs a little more like head. The back of her head is sort of non-existent. I think that's what's making her so creepy from the side. So I'm gonna add, well, maybe we can give her like a little hairdo. Oops. Little hairdo. Oh my god, it's almost 9 o'clock? Good lord. I was just thinking, like, I'm kind of hungry. Why am I so hungry? But it it all makes sense now why I'm hungry. I haven't eaten dinner. I'm starving. But I want to give her a little, I don't know, something. Does she need like shoulder pads? Does she need like little pine cone shoulder pads? Would that not be the cutest darn thing? I think I just gave myself a great idea. Ah, we're doing it. It's too cute. It's too cute not to do it. Alright, I gotta get two that are the same size and are not covered in sap, ideally. Again, annoying. I had so many good pine cones. I put all that stuff away because we were supposed to move. Oh Christ, that one's gone. I put all that stuff away, and I had like such a good collection, and now bupkis, because it's all in boxes. It's all somewhere else. Um, yeah, because of the disastrous move, or lack thereof, I should say. Did I get one? I got one. We put a little shoulder cap on that side. That'll be cute. That one's not big enough though. Dang it. Second guessing myself. Yes, shoulder pads. I think that's a good idea too. I think they're gonna be really cute. This one is larger. It does need a bigger thing. So we're just gonna put like a little blob of wax on the back side, and then we're gonna position. That way we can position them better. She's got, yeah, like a little, almost warrior-like sort of vibe now with the shoulder pads. They're like a little, they flare out. That's a cute, it's got a cute little flare. I like it. So now we have to, it'll be a little challenging to integrate these a little bit into the design because they have some hollow space underneath them. Like I was talking about in the beginning, when you cast things with like undercuts and hollow space, you tend to get in trouble with mold making, and it can be a real pain in the neck. But a lot of times it's totally worth it. In this scenario, I think it's worth it. I'll end up putting a little more, texture. We'll add some texture back in. We'll make sure these lines are not quite so crisp, and you know, give some. Sometimes I like to just jam some bark and stuff into random spots. in that sort of way. Maybe we give her a little shirt? How do we feel about that? That was unexpected, but I kind of like it. Just like right down on her little belly. I think I have to do it. It fits like so perfectly there. My dog is doing something crazy downstairs. I jam bark all over the place. Into random places. What is going on? Oh, my light behind me died. I didn't even notice. I guess that's what happens. It's like, it has been too long. You have been doing this for too long, is what it says to me. We're gonna put a little chest plate on her. I think that's a good idea. It kind of ties together the two pieces, whereas the other guy, little guy, doesn't have he doesn't have two pieces for torso. He's only one. So I think there's definitely a separation that I don't love, but we're about to get rid of it with this little chest plate. I think the lady does need a chest plate. I think it's very cute. I like it. I think we solved one of the mysteries here of how to make her look fancier. She's got clothes on. Her little male counterpart is just like letting it all hang loose because he's a dude. But you never know. I may revisit and give him like a little loincloth or something. Wouldn't that be funny? But for now, I think she needs a collarbone. I know that seems odd, but I think it will work for this. To tie this little chest plate in, we need like a little piece that kind of fits across, right across that opening. I'm running out of pieces of twigs, though, unfortunately. Though I think even just a straight piece is going to do the trick here. Sometimes a simple little, just like a little chunk of stick gets the job done. Oh yeah, we just slip that right in there. There's our little, oh yeah, I like that. That's cute. How cute is that? She's looking cuter. Her face is still not very feminine, but we're gonna work on that. We'll give her a little, I need more wax. I'm gonna have to call it sort of soon because I am hungry, but I'm gonna give it a few more minutes because I want to get her. I want to make her at least relatively complete. The other guy, when I did this last time, I didn't finish him either, but I got him pretty much done. He just needed to be touched up, so there was like, you know, minimal work to be done. All right, she only has 1 foot, so I have to work on her feet as well. But she might not need another foot. That is the thing. I might go a different route with her and give her like full branches as feet. Because I think that's a good idea. I am passing that idea. You know what? Please do not remind me that my walls are beige. Ouchies! Speaking of hungry cats, I don't know if you saw that, he just literally jumped onto my lap and bit me really quick and then exited. He's like, yo, remember me? I'm hungry. You know, you were supposed to eat hours ago. It's not my fault. You had your chance, dude. You had your chance. And if you're thinking, well, that's so mean, go feed your cat. He is a pig. He eats like 7 times a day. He's not hungry. He's a glutton. So, Don't even with that. Dude is not hungry. He wants you to think he's hungry, but it's a lie. All right. Okay. I prematurely cut one of these other sticks. I need it to go that way. I cut my angle a little too angly. All right, now we're talking. Still, I'm not super sure what I'm going to do to her head to make it more interesting. All right, she now very confidently stands up, which I like. Into that. And she looks very much like a tree, upside down, or I guess right side up, because you guys are looking at her upside down. She has a very like tree-like. Yeah, she is standing. She stands now. We have a full. I mean, I wish I had a better camera angle so I could show you guys her like stance. She is leaning backward a little bit, like I don't know how to describe it, but like oh, like she's ducking from a bee or something. Oh my! But I think that's something more to do with the shape of her head. I think I need a little like a. I think she needs like a little silly set of ears, maybe. Maybe she needs ears. What could I use for ears? Possibly just another piece of a stick that goes in the back of her head. Hmm. What are you gonna do with your head, lady? I don't know. I'm a bit perplexed. I'm like looking around my studio, like what weird thing can I use? There's always weird things like scattered about. There's a little piece of bark. What can I do with that? Found some bark. Use it to like as a little hat. Oops! Just knocked her whole head right off of her body. My bad. Sorry. Put that back. Possible maybe that was serendipitous because I think I like her head in a different position. I think it was in a weird position before and now I'm changing it. So we're gonna change it. And then after we've done that, probably put some more, I'm gonna reinforce the back of her head here a little bit. Okay. I think that's a better position for her head. Looking off into the distance here. She still looks like a man though. There's definitely some dude. She's too dude-like. I'm not entirely sure how to lady her up. I think it's the shape of her head. She looks like she's got a beard. think that's the issue here, is that her head is like beard-like. So maybe shaping her, giving her head a little more shape is what's gonna do it, I think. Yeah, let's try that. We'll give her some ears. It would be hilarious if we could give her earrings. That'd be great. We will not be giving her earrings. That was a joke. Maybe it's a joke. The chin is definitely the aggressive feature here that is making her not feminine. I either have to trim the chin a little bit, maybe just chip it a little at an angle. I feel like that might do it. If I just take a little off the edges here. And then maybe add a little. Maybe shape it and make it not look so rugged. Maybe taking the little ruggedness away from her head is what we need to do. So we're gonna give her some chin. We're giving her chin fillers right now. It's like a thing people do. I don't know. Give her a little more of a lady's chin, not so much of a dude's chin. But she still looks like a dude. She might just be a dude. This might just be a dude. I don't know. There's no rules here that this had to be a lady. I just wanted it to be a lady. It's very hard to make characters feminine when you have no hair and no clothes and really no defining body type. I mean, I could have given her like a woman's body, but she's a tree, and that would have been weird, I think. So could just be a tree. Yeah, she might just be a tree. He or she or whoever, tree. But definitely the side of the head here needs to be less aggressive. Maybe. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna throw some sticks in here willy-nilly to get some better shape here. Got kind of like an antenna happening. Which I don't hate. I kind of like the little antenna. All right. I feel like I'm gonna end up with tree sap in my hair tonight, but it's a risk we all take, right? Making art, getting sap in our hair, just the usual things that usual normal people have to deal with, right? Sap. When I was young, I used to climb a pine tree, specific pine tree that is still there at my parents' house, and every time I walk past it, I'm like, oh my god, how did I do that to myself? I used to be covered in sap. It was all over my clothes. Oh my god. Adult me can never handle it. Like, what a sensory nightmare to have sap all over you, but, you know, when you're a kid, you just don't care. just don't care about things. All right, I added some. Oh, I forgot the television was on. Like, I'm hearing some crazy things happening downstairs. I left the TV on for my dog because I thought he wanted to watch TV. Actually, that's not the reason I did. I actually saw somewhere that was like, if you're gonna leave the TV on for your dog, leave it on PBS for the ratings. And I was like, okay, so, um, so I put PBS on for my dog when I came upstairs because I swear to God, if PBS disappears, I'm gonna be devastated. We watch a lot of PBS, like the cooking shows. There's like an Italian woman that on Saturday mornings that makes some like really ridiculously amazing looking food. Um, we do love PBS. Thank you. I'm glad she's coming around. She's starting to look like something. I wish that my camera, I probably could flip my camera so that you guys see. I don't know how to do that. Next time maybe I will flip the camera so you can see what I'm doing the other way. Um that would be way better for you guys watching me because you'd be like, "Oh yeah, now I see what you're doing." Um she's coming along, but she doesn't have any fingers on this hand. And this hand is a little wonky, but I think that may be have to happen on a different day because it's getting late. So I think I'm just gonna give maybe, oops. Oh no, the sap has gotten me again. Oh no. Oh, it's everywhere. Alright, lesson learned. Don't use pine tree things. Yes, support PBS. PBS all day long. I love PBS. Arthur. Oh my god, I watched PBS like crazy when I was a child. It was like the only television worth watching, to be honest, was PBS. Everything else is crazy. Even still on television today. There were like my sisters have kids and we watch kids shows. Like what's the one that I hate so much? Oh, Paw Patrol. Get out of here with that garbage. Um, Me and my sister were talking about it. She's like, "Why is there only one girl dog in Paw Patrol? Like, why?" It seems a little ridiculous to me that there would only be one lady dog. That's good. I'm glad the public broadcasting is hanging on. Uh, I think I don't think we're gonna see most people's public broadcasting go away. I just don't see that happening. I think it would be I mean that would be a horrible shame if it happened, but I don't think we're quite there yet. There's a lot of other horrifying things going on, but PBS is hanging in there. All right. If you're wondering what I'm doing, whoa, camera, take it easy. I'm reinforcing, giving her a little more shape to her rear, because she's not very shapely, and we have to fix that because we want her to be interesting to look at from every angle. You know what I mean? Reading Rainbow. Oh my god, I love Reading Rainbow. Butterflies in the Sky. I saw that it came back. I don't know if it's just on online or if it's actually like real episodes on television or not, but um, I need to look into that because, gosh, that was a great show. There were some really, really stellar television shows on PBS. There was do you remember Fairy Tale Theater? I'm pretty sure that was PBS, and it was like essentially just like short theatrical versions of like, classic children's stories. And I remember like King Midas, that story, and Rapunzel, and something about a songbird or sparrow or something. I don't remember that one, but when I was a kid, I was super into that stuff. I loved them. They were the best. Again, very fantasy oriented, which is like where I'm at here in my adult life. No surprises there. PBS app. Gotcha. Okay. So you're saying I gotta hook myself up with the PBS app. Interesting. I wonder if my sister has the app. She probably does. Her kids love Curious George, which I'm pretty sure is PBS. Which is another great, like, chill television show for children that's, like, more based on curiosity than, like, you know, annoying theme songs and stuff, like a lot of the other kids television. What am I doing here with this finger? I am not sure what's going on here with her finger. But that I need smaller sticks. I ran out of tiny sticks, so I think we're gonna have to pass on the rest of our hands. The hands and feet are probably not gonna get done tonight because I only have so many twigs. My twigs are too big. Everything is an app. That's true. There are apps for everything. I don't think my sisters like even have cable television. I don't have cable anymore. I have not a satellite. What the hell are they called? An antenna. We have an antenna for like our for PBS and our local news channels. Excuse me. Um, but we don't have like we don't watch cable. It's way too expensive. But we have like we have 8 million other apps for everything else. I'm like, oh my god, there's too many things. Why do we need all this stuff? Why isn't any of this necessary anymore? Too much. All right. I think I don't know. I don't quite know what to do with the side of her head. Looking very like it needs something. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, okay. My back is starting to hurt. Tummy is staring at me again. He's here. He's back. He's back in action. He likes to lurk and then like sneak up on me from behind and bite me in the arm. Keeps me on my toes, this boy. Gotta love him. What would life be like without cats? Totally void of chaos. It'd be much too calm. So I hear people have dogs that are chaotic. I don't have a chaotic dog. My dog just like all he does is sleep. That's his thing. He's a sleepy, sleepy dude. All right. I think I'm gonna give her some ears. The other guy doesn't have ears, but I think this guy. You have no pets? Oh my gosh. My life would be incomplete without my pets. I mean, I bet there'd be less chaos, but there wouldn't be no chaos. It would just be significantly less of it. I guess Tummy's really the only one that causes chaos. My other cat's 14 years old and she just sleeps. That's all she does. Apartment full of fire and toxic chemicals. Yeah, that's crazy. You do that stuff in an apartment. Is that allowed or are you doing it in secret? I mean, you don't have to say anything actually because you're on camera here. Or not, I'm on camera. You're not on camera. You don't have to own up to anything if you don't want to. But I never did any of this stuff when I was a renter because I was like, it would just be my luck. I'd burn the place down and then I would be like so liable. Um, it's complicated. It's allowed. Okay, that's good. I feel like I definitely would not have assumed it was allowed. If you know the guy or whatever, have a specific understanding. I guess it's fine. Nope. I don't like that stick. Oh no, I did it again. Broke our whole dang head off. I keep doing that. I guess the head is not on there very good. It keeps falling off. Keep knocking the head off. You need to go to your home. Stay in your home. Oh, I just knocked his arm off. We're getting sloppy over here. It's getting sloppy. We knew this would happen. This always happens when I'm kind of tired. And I am getting kind of tired. But hey, we just discovered that she can stand without her right arm. Him, her, whatever. It's starting to look more like a him. We're gonna ditch the her. It's an it. It's an it now. I don't know if we need. Whoa, falling over. I don't know if we need touching the ground. Maybe forward a little more. Okay. How am I gonna get that to stay there? That is the question. That is the question. Congratulations, it's a tree. Aw. Had a baby. It's a tree. I love it. I love it. Good times. We do have like a random piece of bark. I'm like, can I make this into like a shoulder cap? No, we cannot do that. Watch my eye. Whoops. Decided to shorten up this shoulder a little. Just for a more gentle pose. So now that I have its arm off, I can adjust the hand a little more. I like to put some bend into the fingers because when they're all straight, they're like kind of boring. I don't know. Nobody walks around with their hands like, you know, they should have a little relaxed nature to them. This is just not sticking. It's being very difficult for some reason. Why are you being this way? Why are you being this way? Stop it. Alright, there's our little bend. Do we need the other one to be bent? Probably. Alright. Though I just realized my thumb is going the wrong way. So we need to adjust. I mean, maybe, yeah, son of a gun. Everything's falling apart here now. Getting crazy. Craziness is happening here. That's what we've got wax for. Wax is the fixer of all problems here. I don't know if you can hear my cat just doing laps in the hallway, but he's just running amok out there like a crazy man. I have to look at my actual hand because I can't remember how thumbs work. All right, they go this way. I'm like, yeah, the thumbs. The thumbs go that way. Gotta hold it in place a little bit. I wonder what the dog is watching on PBS right now. Probably something good. It did have like nightly news or something boring on when I left, but that was a couple hours ago, so it could be anything. All right. So the question is, do we want to stick with 3 fingers? Is 3 fingers like the go-to for tree people? I think it might be. Just like this. Whoa, dude, you gotta chill. Scaring me. All right. All right, none of you can see my dude here. There he is. We've changed this around. Whoa, whoa, Tommy. Oh my god, dude. Ay, ay, ay. I'm probably bleeding after that one. He didn't quite make the jump and grabbed on for dear life. Grabbed on for dear life. This is the last time I'm putting his head back on, and then we're, yeah. If I knock his head off again, that's gonna be it. Okay, Tum-Tums. Supervisor, little supervisor Tum-Tums. Don't chew on that, okay? Thank you. I really love this guy's face. I feel like there's a lot of emotion going on there. I'm very into it. So we need to go. I'm gonna stand him up for a second here to get the placement of the hand here correct. Looks like we're going straight down. Maybe not. Straight down it is. Tum-Tums. Just give me a sec. I may end up adding a little bit of a little more texture and stuff to his wrist because it's a little bit scrawny, but excuse me. Can you lay down, please? Thank you. But I think overall, he might not even need his hand to touch the ground, which would be kind of cool if it just sort of floated above the ground. cat is on my lap now. You can see his little head here. He's maintaining his position that he deserves to be here. Whoa! Hi-oh. Knocked him over, almost directly into the fire. That would have been it. If I had knocked his head off, it would have been done. I'm trying to figure out stride here. I think I'm going to change the position of this arm completely. I know you're shocked. Oh yeah, no, definitely not at all. Two very, very not flammable things. Like, not a huge deal. If you drop them directly in the fire, they'll be totally fine. Totally fine. Cat, please stop licking my arm. I'm almost done, I promise. I have effectively glued myself. You see this? I have I have fused my own finger to my sculpture. Not great. Not great. Get off. Crap. There we go. Oh no. That was bound to happen. At least it didn't hurt. It wasn't like really, really hot. When it's really, really hot, it's not ideal. Alright, one more try to get his arm back on. It's really not cooperating here. I'm moving around too much. Oh, I think I just did the exact same thing where I glued my finger to thing again. Oh my gosh. Oh, I didn't. Thank God. I was gonna say, that's enough. Stick a fork in me, folks. Stick a fork in me. Okay. Dang. Alright. I'm sort of really loving everything we have going on here. I think I'm gonna call it before I mess it up. I tend to get kind of like nitpicky when I'm tired and hungry and I start like messing with stuff and messing it up and taking stuff off that I shouldn't take off. You know what I mean? So I'm just now making sure that this joint is actually fused because I had to just do it 4 times, which means it probably isn't fused very well. Yeah. But if I don't touch it, we're good. Don't touch it. There's a tiny little cat. You can see the little head. Hilarious. Alright. So this is what we got going here. I'm going to flip them upside down so you can see them, but he has more aggressive legs than my last guy. He's definitely more tree-like. His face. Here, I'm going to show you. See if I can get closer. His face is actually kind of nice. I like his little face. I'm having a hard time getting the camera to show you his face, but he's got a good look. I added some branches to the back of his head just to give him some like, I don't know what you want to call that, shape, but I need to do some work on his back. He's only got like one butt cheek. He's got half a butt cheek right now, but he does stand. So the way that I designed his like feet, branch-like feet, he does stand pretty solidly. So if he were cast in bronze, I think he wouldn't fall over, which is always like kind of an important element. But yeah, I think I definitely have to try to figure out how to flip my camera for the next live stream so that like we can all be looking at the same thing instead of upside down things. Because it is a bit disorienting to try to like show you stuff upside down. But yeah, I may work on him separately just to touch him up, and I'll probably post pictures of him relatively soon once I give him some more fingers, blah blah blah. Touch up all of my wax, the mess I made with all of the wax. But overall, like, he's got a good vibe. I really think we did a good job here. I'm pleased. So yeah, it is so late. I need to go eat food because I'm so hungry. But here are my two dudes. I'll put them out on my desk where I can look at them. Here's the original dude. Original dude, new dude. Put him upside down for you. New dude is much more complex. Today's dude is a lot more complex. Tommy thinks so too. Here's the last guy. He's got more of a ape-like look, but they're both cool. I'm very into it. I love it. I had a good time. Thanks for coming, guys. Those of you who are not in the chat, thank you also. No, thank you for oh, thanks. Yeah, thank you guys for showing up, and for chatting with me. It's nice to have, oh, ow, tummy, Christ. It's nice to have people to chat with and to like spitball ideas off of. So I'm glad you guys got to see something come from nothing. I will post some pictures in better lighting and when I've got him like touched up so you can see how he comes out. And you guys have a great night. Happy Friday, everybody. Sayonara. I don't know how to sign off with these things. So awkward. I'm the worst. Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye.